Good timing. We can move forward.
Great. Okay, welcome everyone. Today we will talk about advertising in lead generation as a part of the Growth Academy series. And I am Ali. I'm working as a growth marketer at Advanced B2B. And I'm hosting my digital marketer colleague, Konsta, today. Konsta,
Yes.
would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, definitely. Hey everyone, my name is Konstantin. At Advanced B2B, I'm under the title of digital marketeer. It's a little bit broad, but I'm mainly specializing in paid acquisition, so paid advertising, but I have experience in UX, UI, and SEO, so kind of the entire funnel and following through how paid advertising works. Happy to have everyone here.
Great, thanks, Konsta. And let's speak a little bit about Advanced B2B. So Advanced B2B is a growth marketing agency focusing on subscription-based businesses, especially those in the SaaS industry, and also companies involved in online sales. We are located in Helsinki, Finland. We have about 40 plus professionals and hosting 10 different nationalities in the company. We work globally and we have pretty long-term relationships with our customers, some of the longest lasting over 8 years. Before we get into the action, let's go through some housekeeping issues. So all questions are welcome. Please don't wait until the end of the webinar. You can already start sending them through the Q&A throughout the webinar. You can also send your feedback via email or on LinkedIn after the webinar. If there is any issue, like you cannot hear us or you cannot see the slides, please let us know also in the chat. And we will be sending the webinar presentation to all of you, the participants who are currently here or who signed up for the webinar right after the webinar via email. And lastly, we would also highly appreciate if you could share or like our posts regarding this webinar, and please use the hashtag Growth Marketing Academy. Okay, so today's agenda consists of a couple of advertising related topics and how advertising can make marketing more efficient. So we will start with leads. We will speak shortly about leads, then go into measurement, and then also we will get into the main topic, effective marketing using advertising. Under this, we will cover a couple of subtopics from basically target to visibility to message. We will speak about lead capture, data-driven approach, etc., and also look at the funnel a little bit before we dive into the example cases. And lastly, we will go through your questions and try to answer them if we have the answers, or we will record them and send you the answers if we don't have the answers right now. But let's get started, and I will let my colleague Konsta take over here and talk to you about the leads.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Ali. So since we're talking about lead generation in advertising, so I think the best part is to start with what is actually a lead. So yeah, what is a lead? It's an individual, organization that has expressed interest in your product or service. It's someone that has given their contact information to you, and it's an indicator for potential willingness to engage further, so you can have your sales involved and get that sales opportunity. And then if now that we know what is a lead, then what is not a lead? These are kind of basic things, of course, but it's good to know and define them. So what is not a lead? So your existing customers are not a lead. your competitors, job applicants, and general website visitors and vendors and suppliers. So general website visitors, they're not a lead, they have just visited your page. But yes, now that we defined what a lead is, let's see how we can make leads effective in marketing.
Okay, thanks, Konsta. So I think when we talk about marketing and especially advertising, we can rule it that effective marketing starts with the measurement. So without measurement, we cannot improve, we cannot make things effective. And the tracking is the foundation of measurement. The most common way usually is to use a tag manager. For example, Google's tag manager you can use, which acts like a messenger simply between your analytics tool and other platforms. This will enable you to simply monitor your website visitors, monitor your audience on other platforms, and also monitor all the events your visitors take and the conversions on your website, such as downloads, purchases, or submissions. And there are several ways that measurement makes the marketing more efficient. So the first one is it simply allows marketers to evaluate the performance. We can look at it continuously and learn from the numbers and improve what needs to be improved. It also helps us identify and understand the target audience more effectively, which means we see who is coming to our website and what they are doing, which helps us basically to tune our marketing efforts using this data towards the audience. Then it already said that we use it to optimize our campaigns, make them more efficient, increase the ROI. It helps us to see what kind of budget we may need moving forward and what campaigns are working so that we can allocate more or less budget to different campaigns. It also provides us with valuable insights regarding customer behavior and preferences. As I said earlier, we can see what pages, what blog posts the customers are visiting, and we can learn from these, and we can see what they are interested in. Then later we can provide them more valuable information related to their interests. Then, of course, decision-based actions are always very important in marketing. We cannot basically do guesswork. We can't just shoot in the dark and expect that we will hit what we want to hit. So everything needs to be based on data. And of course, more effective marketing using advertising is also possible. Advertising is something that can dramatically increase the efficiency of your marketing.
So now that we know the foundation, which is tracking and measurement, the next step is targeting and reaching the right people that we want to target with our advertising. So targeting advertising allows you to target specific demographics, interests, and behaviors of your ideal audience. So you have your measurement, you have your tracking, and you can start narrowing down your target audience, and then your targeting efforts become more and more accurate. So having the data that the platforms you use for advertising, that data plus your data on your website combined, then you can create really powerful lead generation targeting and campaigns. There are two types of audiences. And here I would like to start with talking a little bit about cold audience building. So about cold audience building, we can start by targeting selected companies, and more accurately, like ABM, because targeting selected companies could be a warm audience as well. but targeting a cold audience with light ABM, those are companies that have never heard about you. So they're in the educational phase and they would like to learn more about your business. And by targeting these companies, you can also target them with specific interests, which are in your ideal customer profile, and also job titles. So interests, job titles, and specific companies can be a really powerful tool for you, and you can use that tool thanks to all those social platforms that we have available for us. And something to mention here, with cold audience and leads, it's a little bit more tough, so they're less likely to book a call, demo, or a purchase. But when it comes to warm audiences, again, I would like to mention you can target selected companies, but targeting selected companies to warm audiences, that can be combined with some external events that you're doing. So they've heard about you, they were at an event, and you know which companies were on that event, and you can put those companies in your targeting list, which makes it more powerful. They've heard about you, they know about you, and there's potential for a sales opportunity, and takes things further by taking their information and having them as a lead. But with that targeting selected companies, I would also like to mention targeting audiences. And as we started in the beginning, we have tracking, we have measurement, and we can track the people that have visited your website, and we can start showing ads to those people, because visitors, they're not a lead, but we can retarget them so they can take the next step and then become a lead. But another thing to mention here, it's kind of like a GDPR thing, as you, if you know, you know, but GDPR, the laws, you cannot use all emails to target people with your advertising, since, yeah, the law. But yeah, anyway, another warm audience I would like to mention. It could be debated a little bit, but high intent keyword searches on, let's say, Google Ads. You could also mention Bing. But people on Google, they're looking for specific solutions and specific keywords. By doing keyword research and seeing which keywords are most likely to take the next steps, they're very more likely to convert and become a lead. So yes, there is potential for sales opportunity and to take things further with warmer audiences. And that being said, let's see, by having audiences and tracking and measurement, how we can make things more efficient with visibility.
Yeah. So advertising can efficiently increase your visibility as well if it's used in the right way. So advertising can increase the exposure to your brand and to your product simply by reaching people through advertising channels such as, let's say, search engines, social media platforms, or display networks. One can generate more awareness and attract potential leads who may not have been aware of your offering otherwise. And this gives us very, very wide range of opportunities using advertising. So imagine if your organic presence is not yet there, you can use advertising to appear in Google search results pages. You can even take the top placements on those pages and make your brand visible. And if you have even a good online presence through organic, you can still do that and just basically increase your coverage on those pages for your audiences. Simply relying only on organic traffic may be risky business for companies, because as much as we can say organic is very good and generating organic traffic will be very sustainable for your business, every business will still need advertising, paid advertising. And if we try to explain it with this simple graphic. Sorry for how it looks. My design skills are limited, unfortunately. But as you see, organic starts lower in the visibility side. And of course, you need to start somewhere, but you can always start with the paid advertising higher on the visibility chart, and set your budget, depends on how much you want to get aggressive with it. But over time, organic will catch up, and until that, paid advertising can be used very efficiently. And of course, after organic catches up, you can still continue using it with an increased budget or decreased budget, and support your organic traffic. Okay, of course, increasing visibility is one thing, but then what you are communicating to your customers through that organic increased visibility is another thing, and that's something maybe Konsta like to tell.
Yes, exactly. So we have our targeting. It's extremely targeted. We have our audience. It's the right audience. Then we also have our paid ads, which increase the visibility, and we can sort of forecast it pretty accurately. But then it comes to the engagement, and people engage with the visual and the tone and the messaging they see and what grabs their attention. So with messaging through advertising, you can craft compelling and persuasive messages that highlight the unique value proposition of your product and service. And we need to be really active with our copy. By active, I mean we need to be testing and trying out different opportunities and possibilities, and not just relying on one single message. With paid advertising, we can increase testing and accelerate the lead generation process a lot more if we really test things more. So do we know what message, visuals, and tone best resonate with our audiences? In some way, we do. So we've done our research of our brand, our ICP, or we're already established. So we already have an established business. But do we know if the message works? We can validate and refine that with paid advertising. So by testing more messages on paid ads, we can get more eyes on our message and our website by showing those ads, and then we can refine them by seeing with what those users are engaging the most. So the more they engage, it's more likely they resonate with that message, with the problems. So we accelerate the discovery process of what messages work, and that way we can make educated guesses. So by testing more variations, it opens more opportunities for us. And by doing these tests and variations, we do immediate impact. By saying immediate impact, I would say that it's a little bit more different than organic. So let's see how paid versus organic works. So advertising campaigns can yield immediate results. And as we saw on the previous graph that we had in the slides, we now know that organics is a little bit more lengthy process. So it takes time until people actually see your organic posts. But when it comes to paid, we see those results immediately. We can forecast the results. We can see how people engage and adapt depending on that. When it comes to organic, we can see on the left side, second point, we need expert management. Of course, you need expert management with paid as well, but it's a little bit more, again, lengthy process. A lot of changes with organic, and there are many, many variables. But for paid, we pay for traffic, and we see how people engage. Organic, third point, is relevancy. So when people search, people see searches depending on what's relevant on that keyword. But with paid, and as we saw before, we can make retargeting campaigns, and we can base it on intent. And also when someone searches for like a really transactional keyword, so they're willing to purchase, buy, or take a decision, we can have that intent. And I really want to focus on the fourth point, which is on both sides. They both support each other. So paid supports organic, and organic supports paid. And what I mean by that is that relying just on organic traffic, it's a risky business, and having paid supporting the content that you're creating and you're going to have in search, we can see if people engage and adapt our messaging, as we heard in the previous slide. So by working and refining our messaging and refining for what people search for, then we will perform better in organic. And yet in organic, we cannot do direct targeting, but with paid, we can do custom audiences, as we discussed, and results improve over time for organic, whereas with paid, we can see the results much faster. But yes, organic long-term, paid short-term, but it's nice to have both.
Yeah, another thing advertising enables is it makes lead capture optimization possible. So what that means is simply advertising campaigns can be designed to drive traffic to optimized specific landing pages to capture leads. And how we do it is by ensuring that these, conversion focused elements are well designed and strategically placed. One can simply increase the likelihood of capturing leads efficiently because we are specifically driving the traffic to those pages. And this kind of optimization minimizes the friction in the lead generation process and maximizes simply your conversion rates. And how we do it is, like, as I said, we can drive traffic to specific pages, and we all call them landing pages. So let's start making these pages hyper-focused and support them with a strong campaign. And then once we get enough data, we can use certain CRO techniques to optimize them further and increase our lead generation. We can also A/B test on these pages and in our advertising campaign and discover new opportunities, maybe improve things, or maybe try a new way of doing something if we notice that there is a pattern. Then priming is another thing. Of course, advertising help us. We can keep on our brand design using ads and landing pages and spread the word even stronger. Content. Everyone produces content nowadays, a lot of content, because everyone thinks that it is needed for search engines, but it is actually needed for people, right? Not the search engines. But how do you bring these great content you produce? So advertising is having a strong role again here to spread the word. I used to say that, I don't know, maybe everyone may not like cars, but if you have a really nice fancy car, parking it in front of your house, only the people passing on your street will see it. One needs to drive it around to show it, right? So if you create the greatest article ever and just have it on your website, well, it's only limited number of people who will see it. Like, you need to spread the word, you need to promote it. And we can use advertising to do this effectively and efficiently in a very short time. So use your pages, use your existing articles, use your downloadables, use your old content by merging it and repurposing, and support them using advertising.
Exactly. And it's kind of like, like you said, like you can create the greatest looking article, but who's going to see it? And we already have these tools that have all this data and all this information. And when someone is searching in Google, you don't really know who that person is, or are they our target? Do we really want that person to look at that article? But when we have the data from these platforms, we can show it to the people that the article was intended to be for. So yes, data-driven approach and using data from platforms. And these advertising platforms, they provide a lot of data. So information, they measure everything. And nowadays we can sort of forecast pretty accurately. These platforms give us information of how much a click would cost, how much traffic it would bring, how many leads it would bring. Of course, it's not the most accurate, but it's an average of the industry that you're targeting. And this can really make you do not like really it does give you really educated guesses, so you would know what would actually happen with these campaigns. But yes, how do we leverage data? So if you're an established business and you already have a lot of traffic and data, or you're even just starting out, you don't need to start completely from scratch. And what I'm trying to say with this is that you probably have collected lists of clients or potential clients. We had that in the audience building earlier, but if you know what a lookalike audience is, it's extremely powerful. So you have your clients and you upload it to, let's say, Facebook or LinkedIn. Pretty much all platforms nowadays, they provide this function, but you upload it, and then those platforms use their data to find very similar people to your clients. So you would like to target these people because they're very likely to be interested in your solutions. And another option here is also leveraging data of your website traffic. So we know website traffic is not a lead, but we can make them a lead if we create custom audiences on very specific pages. So what I mean by very specific pages, we don't want to retarget the entire website traffic. And the reason for that is you probably have career pages, you have a lot of other pages which gain a decent amount of traffic. And we don't want to target those people with our ads because they will not become our leads. So what we will do is get, for example, we have a certain solution that we want to target, and we can use all the pages on our website to create this custom audience and target people which are only going to those pages. So that's very powerful for us. And doing this, this is kind of like my favorite spot, is because advertising is very scalable and it's very flexible. So we're in full control. When we do advertising, it provides us the scalability and flexibility of reaching our target audience. We can adjust everything when it comes to budgets, targeting, creatives, performance. We're in full control. And this gives us agility to scale things very rapidly and quickly. And it takes more than one try to hit the right spot. So we know that we need to try different messaging. We know that we need to try different targeting and use different kinds of data until we hit the right spot. But that comes with the flexibility and with our budget. So we're in control of that. We can adjust it, we can perfect it, and we can exclude people that we don't want to reach. and we decide where to place the ads. So by having a person that constantly looks after these campaigns, we were sure that you hit that right spot and you start getting leads, because the first campaign may not bring you the leads, but it will give you a lot of data and information to take the next step that will actually bring you the leads. Because giving these small little details on each and every spot, that's where the leads come from. And once you hit that spot, you can scale it. So campaign success, everyone wants to be there. So it's pretty much the moment where you created that campaign, you tested many variations, you hit the right spot, and you start seeing on your phone, you're like, you got a lead every day. And that's like a really great feeling. I love it. It's kind of like keeps my, like, I don't like looking emails in the morning, but when I start seeing, like on LinkedIn, I have these notifications and I see, okay, another lead, and like it just makes my day a little bit better. But then also there's limitations. You start getting leads, your campaign is great, but okay, what I mean by limitation is just by doubling the budget on the campaign doesn't necessarily mean that you would double the leads you're getting. It is more likely that it would increase, but increasing the budget, then you can see where the limit is and what budget is the correct one. Otherwise, the cost per lead is going to increase. So monitor your cost per lead after increasing the budget, and then you can decide going back to the right spot of what budget and how much time, how many times your audience is going to view the ad. But yes, I love the scalability part, actually. So, yeah.
I do as well.
Who doesn't?
Okay. Another advantage of using advertising is that it allows multi-channel integration. And what I mean by that is it can be integrated with other marketing channels or strategies to create cohesive and amplified marketing approach. Simply by aligning your advertising efforts with content marketing or social media marketing, email marketing, even PR, one can create a comprehensive marketing ecosystem, and that will accelerate lead generation for you or boost overall marketing performance. Let's say you are running a PR campaign. You have something important to announce. You can support it using advertising. You can drive traffic to it. Let's say you are sending an email campaign out, and then you drop those leads into a nurturing, and at the same time you can follow them on advertising channels, advertising platforms using paid advertising. So the limitations are really kind of endless here, and these days, since there are so many channels and the customer decision making is so complicated, it's very important to appear pretty much everywhere where your customers are. And another important thing is advertising can be done throughout the funnel. So here, as an example, we put the pirate funnel, but it doesn't matter whatever framework you are using for your funnel. Advertising can be used pretty much on all stages of the funnel. If we look at a few examples here, if you are doing awareness, you can launch awareness campaigns or traffic generation campaigns to introduce the problem or to introduce the solution, meaning your product, or to increase the brand awareness for your brand. It can also be used for ABM, obviously. If we look at acquisition, maybe where the advertising is most used these days, it will help you with lead generation campaigns using downloadables. You can still use it for account-based targeting. Activation, this is basically where customers are finding the value you create for them. This is where they are not needing your help anymore, and where they can start navigating on your product by themselves. And here we can target your free trial members, freemium members. your existing customers, even your churn customers using paid advertising. We can do retention campaigns targeting your existing customers. We can do, you know, revenue focused campaigns, and these could be, you know, helping you to increase your, let's say, retainer sizes, help you do upsell, help you do cross sells, introduce your new products to your existing customers. There are simply endless opportunities using advertising. Of course, advertising won't make the magic alone, and if you can combine all your powers together, then it will make the magic for sure. We prepared a few examples for you, so that you can like see and understand how we actually made advertising effective, and also how we used it to make marketing for these companies more efficient. Konsta, would you like to tell us more about these?
Yeah, for sure. And something right before I start, I can mention is the examples that I'm going to be showing you now, relating to the funnel that we saw previously that Ali showed in the last slide. These are mostly examples where we focus on the awareness and acquisition part. And I would say the acquisition part is very lead generation focused. So I would like to start with 1IO, and a little bit like just a short intro of the company. 1IO is a cloud native integration service provider. So it's an IT tech software company, and they do integrations for enterprise businesses and also service providers. And what we did for them, it was LinkedIn document ads. And something I could say additional to this is that this is a very new format. And this format is gated content. So when someone visits or sees the ad, they click it, and the information of their LinkedIn account is taken automatically to the form, and then you capture the lead. And when a platform releases a new format, I would definitely recommend to take advantage of that, because when there is a new format, the platform boosts it on their backend, because they would like to see success in that format. And every time I've tried anything new on a platform, it always has performed better, and it's kind of like less competitive. And over months in time, you can see more and more companies taking advantage of this. And from this, actually, was there a question? Or yes, okay, yes, everyone.
That was a great suggestion about diving deeper into these topics separately, like in a series of other webinars, and we will definitely consider it. I like the idea, so yes.
Awesome, thank you. And I think sometimes Zoom is acting weird with the chats and the questions, but I think everything works now. So if you have any questions, just shoot. Happy to answer everything. But yes, back to 1IO. So this campaign was targeting telecommunications companies. So what we did is we pulled telecommunication lists of companies, and we started targeting them. And pretty much we managed to generate around 130 leads, which I would say 70% of those were very high quality, and they were actually enterprise telecommunication companies. And what we experimented first is we had a landing page, which people click the ad and they go to the website, and there is a form, and then they can download this guide as you see in the visuals. And then the other one was the document ads, where people can, as I mentioned, click the new format and get the document and PDF directly from LinkedIn. And by testing this, you can see actually how your audience thinks a little bit more. So what we discovered with 1.0 is that people actually like to download it directly from LinkedIn, and they didn't want to put the extra effort of going to the landing page, putting things manually. So they just downloaded it from LinkedIn. And the next campaigns that we did actually were, again, document ads, and that always performed better than the landing page. Another thing that we tested was messaging, and each and every month we kind of added a couple more creatives, visuals or messaging. And as you can see, the left side was the first visual, and then we made an updated one, which included more kind of like logos and people which were involved in this document. So the next test that we did, actually, everything started to improve a little bit more and more each and every time we did these updates. And also something I would like to mention here is that when we started this campaign, initially, the first 2 weeks, the engagement was extremely low. No one was downloading it. I had it on pause, actually. And then after a month, I noticed some of the data that people were clicking and opening the form, but they were not moving forward. So there was interest. And what came to my mind is actually that I stopped the campaign earlier than I should have. So I actually reactivated the campaign, and then we started getting these 120 leads that we had. We got a question. So which phase of the funnel would you recommend this document ad format? Thank you for the question. I would recommend it for retargeting. So let's say, sticking to this example, you have a telecommunications page and people are visiting that page. So you have an industry page, and then you have a industry document that would help people see what you do better. Then you can retarget those people, or you can do it even in the awareness stage. So you have selected companies that you think could take advantage of the document. So you could test both. So in awareness and then also in acquisition. This one, as I said, it was completely a list of companies and telecommunication companies on LinkedIn, plus telecommunication companies we found online. So we took those and we targeted them. So you can pretty much duplicate the same approach. Yes, thank you for the question. The next example, actually, it's pretty much fairly close to the document app format, and this could give you a little bit more ideas of how we can approach this. But the next example is Vapels. So it's a Finnish company that it's a benefit bike service for employees. So what we did for them, we did Facebook ads. So Facebook ads lead generation campaign is what worked, but what we tried first, you can see in the yellow there, I marked how much leads and the cost of the lead. But that aside, we tried first LinkedIn document ads, and that didn't work for Vapels. They target human resources. So with LinkedIn, you can pretty much target everything HR, job titles, interests, functions, the entire departments, and whatever you want HR, but it didn't work. And Facebook was kind of like our least desired platform to advertise this, because on LinkedIn, the targeting is a little bit more difficult for B2B, but this kind of proved it wrong, is because we tried a lead generation campaign. So people click, but for Vapels, it actually worked people going on the landing page. So they went on the landing page and they filled it out there, but also we had another variant. As you see in the bottom examples, there's like good at 1 and good at 2. So both brought leads, but the one with the landing page brought the most. So again, it was a document ad. So it had a PDF ebook, and we were targeting just interests. So there was like human resources interests, and it actually found the right people which was really great. So for 2 months, we got 100 leads, and this campaign is still running. If we can see how the campaign building went, like this is just an example of how the ad worked, like how it looked. And what you can do with Facebook that is different from some other platform is because Meta is pretty much an ecosystem. So you have Instagram, you have Facebook, you have like all these platforms, and they have different visuals. So you have the story now, and you also have the standard horizontal look of the ad, or the square. I would go for the square, but refreshing the ads again and testing multiple messages, that really helps out to see where people convert. So the more leads a certain ad gets, make similar ones and duplicate and create new ones. This is another customer I would like to show you. We're going to name it Customer X, but it's a real estate software for creating floor plans. So what we did for this software is, because it's a phone application, and if someone here has a phone application, this it's kind of like an obvious approach to go for, but we went with Apple Search Ads. It's easy to set up. It's based on search intent, so you can see the keywords of what people are searching in your industry. And we managed to get 1,000 installs, which essentially they went on the web, like after installing, they need to sign up and get their information. It becomes a lead. We got 1,000. That's the installs. When it comes to tracking the leads, it's a little bit more different because you need to do some development backend stuff. But for 2 months and this cost per install, this is a really big success. So if you have an app, focus on the more obvious things. The next example from this company is Capterra. So in Capterra, you can target specific categories, and Capterra is a directory for software companies to make it more what it is. So software companies go there and get reviews, and they rank more and more, but people there are looking for solutions, and we managed to get a cost per lead here around 30 euros. And this campaign has been running for 6 months, and 300 companies, which most are US, which is the target, was a pretty great success. But yes, also afterwards, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me if you like any additional information about these approaches. But yes, really happy to share this with you.
Great. Thanks, Konsta. So if you have any questions, please send them in Q&A or over chat. We already received a few questions. Konsta already answered one of them. Another audience of us, Giovanni, sent a message thanking for the webinar, and he would like to share his experience with LinkedIn ads. So he says, we tested advertising for webinar, having set an audience in target with our buyer personas. We were able to collect lead in target. Furthermore, using retargeting ads, we were able to offer them gated content through lead generation form. I agree about Meta is very different from other platforms. Thank you, Giovanni. We have another question that reads as, the Capterra was a form campaign. It's a question. Was the Capterra a form campaign, Konsta?
So on Capterra,
yeah,
they click the ad. So you essentially rank up on the first place in that directory. And when they click, it is a form, or you can make it informational, but the best, and what we did was it is a form, and then they sign up directly to whatever you offer. So in this case, they went on the website, and it was just directly a form.
Yeah, thank you. We have another question that says, we are targeting enterprise companies. What channels in addition to LinkedIn might be good for us? Yeah, I could answer this. Well, simply the answer is there is no right or wrong channel to start with. You might have obvious channels where your audience are, but it's always good to, test all possible channels where they might be and experiment on them and learn. So you might find the gold mine in a very unexpected place. Another question follows, can you give some examples of opportunities for remarketing and retargeting to increase our conversion rates? Well, I think Konsta already listed a few. For example, you can target your free trial users, premium users. You can create an audience of your key page visitors or product page visitors, could be pricing page visitors, and you can create retargeting campaigns targeting those visitors. Can be one campaign or can be separate campaigns with different messaging. It depends on how personal you want to go. Then, of course, cross-selling and upselling to existing customers. So you can use retargeting campaigns to promote your new products, product extensions, add-ons, and so on. You can use segmented audiences, so you can segment your existing audience and run retargeting campaigns. Of course, there are certain things you need to pay attention, and segmenting audience is one of them to further personalize your message. But also, like, you need to make sure, as an example, you need to make sure to set a frequency cap, because like you don't want to show the same ads like 10 times to the same person. We received another question that says, why do usually marketers criticize the LinkedIn ads? What are the downsides? Isn't Meta just Facebook and Instagram? It doesn't seem optimal for B2B. Konsta, would you like to answer this one?
I'm missing the memo sometimes. Oh yeah, it's in the open. Okay, yeah, I see now. So isn't Meta just Facebook and Instagram? Yes, but also I think there were options to get in some additional network that they have. I think also like LinkedIn, it has like those separate ones. Most of the times I have those disabled because you're not sure of where the traffic comes from. But when it comes to the targeting, I would say mostly target Facebook and Instagram. But yeah, why do usually marketers criticize LinkedIn ads? I guess it depends. If like I've had success with campaigns, but I've also had campaigns which didn't work out. So I guess if you experience one side of the the bad side of, okay, the campaigns didn't work, or it's too expensive, or too tough for us, I guess, then you would criticize it more. But again, you're in control, and you could manage to decrease costs. And also, if you would like to get more results, the best way would also always be having the data and using this established data that it's very more likely to bring results. So if you're a just established or open business, then it's more open to criticizing. So yeah, no data, more expensive, and it kind of becomes like, okay, I'll need to find some other source.
And if the official person here in the background can also chime in on this, in addition to what Konsta already mentioned, it's usually the price. At least that's the most common criticism that I see. I'm sure there are others, but then if that's the criticism, then you need to ask, well, what's expensive? What is expensive lead for you? Is 200 expensive if you're selling, I don't know, 200,000 worth of software? So you always have to know the data behind your own information. What is expensive for me? And then when it comes to like Facebook and Instagram, obviously we've done advertising there and it works, but then, for example, in the content side, I'm a content marketer, so we use content in Facebook and sometimes in Instagram, and we do have even B2B audiences that can work better on those channels than on LinkedIn, because, and still not every B2B person is on LinkedIn yet. So it's a matter of trying to find out what the channels are that your target audience is using.
Thanks for chiming in, Roletta. And actually, you reminded me of a situation I was in one time. So it was like we were preparing a campaign, and I was asked, okay, but give me a forecast of how much a lead would cost. And this is a really tough question to get. Like, okay, like I cannot give you a straight answer. I can give you estimates. I can give you averages of industry. But then when you launch the campaign, you don't know how much the lead would be. But then actually when we launched the campaign and we got the leads and we got the estimate, I asked them the question, like the company question, like, are you happy with this cost, the cost of this lead? And the answer that it came back was like, we actually haven't calculated if this is it expensive for us or is it worth it? So like calculating how much you're most willing to spend on a lead, it's really good information to have. Like, when does a lead become too expensive? But yeah, I guess something that got left out there is like, it doesn't seem optimal for B2B. Yes, I agree. And it's up to testing, I would say, and just put small amount of budget just to see the engagement, how people react on your ads, and using the targeting. Like, it's a little bit more broad. As I said, for Vapos, we used HR. So you can use these type of industries or work positions that kind of, because it's limited to what shows in their interests and so on in the targeting in Facebook. I know it's limited, but I would try it out.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Another factor also regarding Facebook and Instagram, yes, maybe it doesn't seem optimal for B2B, but we have to remember that we are all human beings and we make decisions mostly based on our emotions, even though we also use rational information. So, someone sitting on a decision maker position in a company, not necessarily just following LinkedIn. They have friends, they have photos, whatnot. They follow Facebook, they follow Instagram, they follow other channels, and we don't know when things are going through their mind and when we can impact them. So it's always a good start to try multiple channels and see if it works. If it works, it works. Then you scale it up. If it doesn't work, then you can just abandon it.
Mm.
Okay, we are soon running out of our time. It's like the last minute, so I will continue. But if you have any more questions, please send them via email, and we will surely get back to you. But before we end our session, I would like to remind about our next webinar, which is about efficient marketing starts with customer research. And my colleagues Reetta Westman and Vera Hevosma will be hosting it. It's on Tuesday, May 30th at 11 a.m. And the webinar will be held in English. And you will receive a link to it in the email when we share the webinar documentation with you. Then following that webinar, we have also other two future webinars. One will be in the beginning of June, 8th of June, and that's about data dashboards for business success. And the other one is on 14th of June, and that's about marketing battle, brand versus lead generation. Yes, as I said, please send over your questions if you still have any via email, and we will reply to those. And I want to thank everyone for listening to us for an hour here, reserving your valuable time. And I also want to thank Konsta for sharing your knowledge, and I wish a good day to everyone. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.